And on today's episode of Another Woman That Has Now Regretted Her Divorce. Let's go.
Hey, it's Jenna. Recently divorced and kind of figuring out this new way of life. I was married for 23 years and with that person for 3 years prior. So for a total of 26 years of my life, I have been out of the game of dating, making friends, going out, and stuff like that as a single woman in her 40s. Yeah, I'm 47. So I've raised children. My children are adult children now. And it's kind of interesting because it's so lonely at this stage in life after divorce, especially with older children, because you make all your friends when they're younger, or at least I did. I met my friends mostly through my kids' activities. I was a stay-at-home mom and I took them to practices. I went to school, all that stuff.
So there's a thin line between wanting peace and destroying your whole life while chasing it. Today's story is about a woman who spent 28 years of her life building a family, building a man, building a home, and threw it all away in the twinkle of an eye just because of freedom. Now she's 47, no man, no money, no marriage, no peace of mind, just a camera, some regrets, and enough triggers to fill a Netflix documentary. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, all the love in the world. So let me summarize this whole story before we go into the details. This woman was a wife for almost 3 decades. She raised kids. She helped her husband build a company that is almost worth $1 million right now. She did not have her own career, but she had a hobby, which is photography. But in the marriage, that was fine. She had a soft life. Her bills were paid. She had, people taking care of the house chores. Her children were going to the best school. She and her husband, they were growing. Their business was thriving. She was a stay-at-home mom. And her husband treated her like a baby. It wasn't a perfect marriage, but it was stable. It was comfortable, it was powerful. And then one day auntie decided that she was done. Maybe she was tired, maybe she wanted more, maybe she wanted, I don't know what she wanted, but she just decided that she doesn't want to do it again.
I feel like I'm in mourning of the life I thought that I was going to have. And I'm kind of pissed at myself. I stayed in a marriage for 23 years and built up a family and my ex's career and everything, and we literally just got to where it was supposed to be everything we dreamed of. Like, owned a company, making almost $1 million, and that was my breaking point. And I left it all. And I'm not a person that is about money, and I'm not a person who feels like they have to have like labels and name brands and all that stuff. But I really have found that I gave it all up. And I don't have a traditional career. I'm a photographer that in my marriage, it was made to be a hobby. So it wasn't like I had a 9-to-5 where I got 401, where I got steady income, all that. Yes, I market the crap out of my business. Yes, I'm an amazing photographer. And yes, I have so many amazing clients. They're great. But the reality was everything was around my family. So when I chose to leave, I gave it all up, all up. And most people are like, oh, well, you should have got your end in court. No, South Carolina has some crazy, crazy rules. And I came out of a situation where I had been mentally abused, financially abused for 23 years. I was gaslit for so long that when I finally left, I had no clue that the worst was yet to come in the 1 year of separation. And so it's weird because I find that I just thought today for a split second, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? I thought, I should have just stayed. It wasn't that bad.
Now let's talk about this woman's greed for freedom. I think that what she wanted was not just peace. She wanted options. She thought that maybe leaving her marriage would unlock some soft girl aesthetic era at 47 or 45, 46, 40. I don't know when she got separated, but late 40s. Maybe she thought she would become a traveling photographer, her hobby would become her lifestyle. Maybe she will finally find herself. Instead, she found herself in the middle of an identity crisis. Now she's wailing on the internet because her ex-husband is living the life that she helped him build without her. This is according to her. Taking the kids to, family vacation spots that maybe she introduced him to, creating some of the traditions that he used to ignore before. I think there was a point where she said that her daughter would always say, "Oh, daddy's taking us to so and so place," and it would trigger a memory in her brain. And that place would be where her own family members used to go to. She's triggered because she thought she could walk away from her old life and create a better one without a plan. Who does that?
Random things that trigger me are the craziest things. And I pulled an emergency drive to my daughter because she needed something and drove an hour because she's at college to drop something off. The littlest thing she said just triggered me. And she's like, "Well, I'll be home because I'm going to be at the Clemson Notre Dame game because Dad's going to take us all." You think that's nothing, right? Like, she instantly saw a switch in me and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Nothing," because, I don't talk about that stuff. So last week she says, "Oh, well, Dad said for Christmas we're going to go to Gatlinburg and be there for the holidays and do Dollywood." That man never once ever went to Gatlinburg or Dollywood ever in his entire life before he met me. That was where my family always went. I'm from Tennessee. That's something we always did. It was a bonding thing. And now that's what he's trying to do. It's like he's taken every single tradition I've ever done and now turned it into his. Now I find myself triggered because during the hardest time of my year last year, of me literally trying to stay alive, me dealing with all the craziness of my ex, the lying, the alienation, him calling me a whore, him having my children call me a whore. Why? Not because I did anything bad, because I wore spaghetti straps and all that. And the only way that he could use my children against me was to say I was on social media. I'm a photographer. I make silly TikToks. I would think, "Mom, we're going to Gatlinburg for Christmas," would trigger me. This man's had at least 3 vacations in the past year to like really nice places with my children. At least 3 that I know of, because he has them lied to me. He has them outright lied to me about so much stuff. So who knows? God knows what they've done. Triggers are, "Oh, he gets to just go and take my kids to the Notre Dame and Clemson game." I wish I could do that. I can't afford to do that. Why? Because he screwed me. He lied about owning a company, and there's ways to prove it. I'm trying to be happy and show my kids that like life can move on, but the triggers, trying not to cry. Why? Because my ex has so much money. He makes more than $18,000 a month easily, or at least he did. He made almost $1 million the year before we divorced and then lied about it. He has all the money at his fingertips to do whatever he wants, to buy my children, take them on trips, take them on vacations. Why I literally have the bare minimum to pay my bills on top of trying to restart a career because it was a hobby, because I was a stay-at-home mom.
Now let's look at the scoreboard. Her ex-husband makes roughly about $18,000 a month. He spoils the kids. He lives comfortably. He's still respected. But what's she doing? She's online making, TikTok videos and fighting back tears whenever her daughter mentions, "Oh, daddy wants to take us to blah, 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 blah."
Tell me, how am I not supposed to be feeling triggered or screwed? Because the reality, no doubt, I easily could make bank right now. I've heard it a ton. I can make an OnlyFans. If you knew how many offers I've had from men who literally say to me, "Oh, I'll take care of you. Just do X, Y, and Z, or be my girlfriend, or marry me. I'll take care of you the rest of your life." I don't want that. I don't want to do an OnlyFans. I will not do an OnlyFans. I don't want my children to see that. I will not be with another man so that he can take care of me. I didn't want that to begin with. I got married because I was in love and wanted to be married forever and wanted to build a family. I'm sure as hell not going to go with some man now just so that he can pay my bills.
This woman literally said she could do OnlyFans right now if she wants to, or even date rich men, but she doesn't want to. And now at 47, she is mourning. She's not just mourning the man, she's also mourning the life she could have been living right now, because no one told her how expensive freedom is. It literally costs you your comfort, it costs you your routine, it costs you access, and if you don't prepare for it, it can also cost you your dignity. She could have stayed. In fact, she did stay for 26 years. So what happened at the finish line? What could have changed? It's not like the marriage just suddenly became, unbearable. I feel she just thought that, there was more out there, and she found out that there was not. Now, this is not about staying in a toxic marriage. This is about strategy. If you're going to live with a plan. Build your career before you walk out. Stack your money, your bank accounts before you call any lawyer. Make sure that you are financially okay before you leave there, because if you just live like that, you are on your own, guys. Don't let your selfish desire for freedom, blind you from the reality of life, because what looks like oppression inside a stable marriage might just be the security that you will never gain again. I feel like I want to say one hard truth now. Some of you don't hate your husbands or your marriage. You just hate how ordinary and boring your life feels. But guess what? It is more ordinary when your life now becomes lonely, boring, broke, and many other things. I'm not saying that people should remain in a toxic, abusive marriage. If your marriage is abusive, like you are being abused domestically, please run for your life. But if it is stable, there are no issues, but just minor issues that you can bear, even if you want to leave, don't just live like a moron. This woman thought she was walking into a better version of her life. What she got was a reminder: you cannot build a kingdom with a man then leave that same kingdom with your sandals and handbag. The empire now is still standing, the kids are still being taken care of, but she's just a photographer now, making TikTok videos, mourning the life that she could have been living right now. And that is really what regret looks like. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. My name is Benita. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.